Well, hello everyone. The objective of this video is to give you an example of how you can link or how you can establish a relationship between your unit of the project and the Ecuadorian curriculum proposal. To do that, I choose this topic first because I like it, and secondly because it's not a common topic, and I am pretty sure that you don't have this topic in your projects because it will be unfair to the other groups if I do the example with one of your current topics, right? So the topic here is AI and assertive communication. I know that sounds kind of tricky or complicated, but it's actually not. Okay, so let me, I'm sorry, that's not the real one. Let me show you where do I get the idea from. So for the ones that took the exam, in this version of the exam, there was this mini case. So this mini case is about a teacher that decides to use trading card in games and AI to improve writing skills, specifically assertive communication. So assertive communication, it's how to tell something the best possible way so everyone can understand in simple terms. When you translate that to AI, it's basically prompt engineering. Okay. And well, that's the idea. The idea is that this group of students in 5 classes are going to develop their own trading cards games, specifically with some cards. Okay, with I believe 10 cards they are going to develop, and to do that, they have to use their writing skills, talking about a description of something, maybe a monster or maybe a character, a fictional character. So they need to describe this as detailed as possible so the AI can create a picture that reflects the idea of the students, which is really interesting. And well, at the end, they will have to negotiate or exchange some cards with a partner, trying to convince them that their car is better than one of the cars that they already have. So that's basically the main idea. That's why the name of the unit is AI and assertive communication. So here I have some possible topics, and as I told you, the possible topics as it's just that possible topics. It's not like we are going to have like these topics written on stone and like that. So no, it it's not like that. Okay, it's not like that. But the idea here it's that we are going to have the bigger picture of how this unit is going to evolve. So maybe these topics are going to change in the future. Okay. The same is going to happen with your projects. The same. So the proficiency level this time is going to be A2. Okay, in the exam it was B1, but that's the beautiful thing about this that you can actually change the different levels, and you can change how deep and how complicated this can be. Remember that the Ecuadorian curriculum have 5 principles. So one of those principles is thinking skills. So that means that we can move from lower order of thinking to higher order of thinking to make things more complex. Okay, so remember that. And remember that in my previous class, I explained you this as well that sorry, that we move always. Let me make this bigger for you. I know what I did. Oh yeah, that will do. That we move always from different levels. So for instance, my big aim in the project, in this one, in this example, it's going to be A2. So I am going to be here in A2. Uh, so I could go with a sixth grade, with seventh grade, with 10th grade, or with first year of bachelorette. So I have plenty of ways to do it. This is an excellent example of how the Ecuadorian core principles of the curriculum are presented here. Uh, in this case, thinking skills. That means that I can make something uh, easier or less complex and locate it here. Or I can make with the same something more complicated, more elaborated, and I am going to put it here. Okay, that's to give you a little insight. So in this case, I choose for this example to be A2. And the level of the coloring curriculum, in this case, I'm going to make it uh, not so complicated. So I'm going to locate this in Básica Media. So if you remember, Básica Media will be 7th, 6th, and 5th grade. So in this case, I am going. So in this case, as I mentioned, it's A2, and I could choose between these four chords. So it's going to be something not that complicated, and it's going to be Básica Media. So I am going to choose 7th grade, okay, to be A2. It could also be 6th grade, but I want this project to be from 7th grade, okay? So I am going to choose that as 7th grade, and again, it's going to be Básica Media, okay? Uh, Remember, this is exactly what you have to do for your project. This is these are the first steps to develop your project. Now, curricular thread, it's kind of tricky, and that's why you have to read. Okay, you have to read and read and read. So first, you determine the level of proficiency, then you determine the level of the program, and then you determine the thread or threads, because you could involve more than one curricular thread for sure. Uh, why is this one tricky? Because this one it involves not only with writing but also with creative writing. Now, in my experience, and this is something that you're going to learn by experience, creative writing, it's not related with curricular thread number 4, writing. It's related with curricular thread number 5, language through the art. But that's, again, that's something that you are going to learn uh, because of your experience. In fact, I already have this one here. Look, I already have my prioritized curriculum from Básica Media. And, well, you can tell that from here, right? From the numbers, from the codes. So this is my criteria of evaluation for English as a foreign language. The number 3 is going to tell you that's media, because that's level number 3. And well, this is the number 21, okay? And this is curricular thread, language through the arts. So when you analyze the code from the skills, you have that this one is from media and it's curricular thread number 5, language through the art. And well, this is the first one. That's the idea, guys, that you have to read. Again, you have to do this by reading. You have to read and understand every single one of the columns that you have in here. Uh, you have to read and understand all the columns that you have in here, the evaluation criteria, the skills and performance descriptor, and indicators. So if you remember my previous session, in the evaluation criteria, you have how we can evaluate our students. The skills are the ones that has to be achieved or developed. And then we have the indicators for the performance criteria. That's basically the indicator for success. Okay. So that's the tangible piece of information, as I told you in our last session. So I already have this one here in mind. That's the one that says design and produce picture books, graphic expressions, and or personal stories by varying elements of literary text and adding imaginative details to real life stories and situations in order to create new original text. So this is the one that we are going to use. So this is going to be my evaluation criteria, the one that I am going to copy and paste right here. Oh, by the way, this curricular thread was number 5, okay? So I am gonna write number 5. You have to write, the full curricular thread, okay? The skills and performance descriptor, I am again gonna copy and paste it from here, the full one, okay? The full one. In the next week, we are going to analyze what is the meaning of these different icons that we have here. Okay, so I'm copy and paste. I'm just gonna copy and paste that one, and finally, the indicator of success. Okay. Oh, I didn't read it, but it says create picture books and or other graphic expressions in pairs in class by varying scenes, characters, or other elements of literary text. That's the one that I like. Yeah, because this one says create personal stories by adding imaginative, that's more related to stories. So I don't want exactly to focus on the stories, but I like to focus on the picture book or other graphic expressions because that's the idea with the trading card games. Okay. And finally, this one that says create picture books or graphic expressions and personal stories by adapting elements of, well, this is the one. I already read it. Okay, this is the one. Okay, and that's the one that I need. And well, with that, I have everything what I need here. Let me make it bigger for you. And that's what you have to do with your project. Okay, this is the next step with the project. You have to just pair or match uh, the standards, the national standards with your unit. Okay, that's what you have to do, and that's how you have to do it. Remember, first your name of the unit, then the possible topics to give you an idea, an insight about it. Then the proficiency level, A1, A2, B1. From that, you establish the relationship with the level, okay, in the quadrant curriculum, the equivalent level of that. And you are gonna state that according to how complicated you wanna make it or how complex is your idea. In this case, like this is gonna be the design of a card. I don't know if you ever see like a card of a trading game, but the descriptions are not that complicated. It's basically a list of things that you can do with the character. So it's not that complicated. That's why I choose media. And well, the curricular thread, as I told you, from my experience, everything that's related with creative writing, it's always going to be in language through the art. Okay, it's not just writing, and that's the idea here, guys. Now, as I told you, this project does not only finish with the creation of the car, but it finished with some kind of exchange of information that the students are going to do. So by doing that, they are going to engage. Oh, sorry, I was too far. They are going to engage in something related, maybe with communication and cultural awareness, or maybe with oral communication. So I am not sure which one is going to be. So what do I do when I am not sure? Well, I am gonna have to read them all. So let's read them all to see which one match with the profile, with that profile, okay? So we begin with communication and cultural awareness here. And yeah, right here. This is the first page. Yeah, that's the first page. So when we begin with communication and cultural awareness, it says, the first one says, uh, ask simple basic questions. No. Compare and contrast oral tradition and myths. No. Recognize, demonstrate an appreciation of some commonalities and distinctions. No. Recognize ways to relate responsibles. No. I am starting to believe that it's not going to be communication and cultural awareness. Change basic personal preferences with peers. Maybe this one, but not so short because this one also is about likes and dislikes. Describe, read about, participate, or in recommend a favorite activity, book, or song. No, that one, no. Interpret and demonstrate a knowledge of nonverbal and oral communication features in classroom activities. No, definitely no. Self-correcting and self-monitoring, no. Variety of oral, print, and electronic forms of social communication. Friendly notes, invitations, diary entries, no. So definitely no, no, it's not curricular thread one. Let's see curricular thread number two. In front of who is speaking and what situation? No. Well, it's not listening for meaning, so I'm just gonna skip it. It's not listening for meaning. It's not listening for information. It's not production accuracy. Maybe it's production fluency. That one sounds promising, you know? Respond to simple questions. No. Megan respond. No. Provide simple description of a common object or a simple account of something experienced. A clothing celebration, class trip, party game. This one maybe. This one gathers some of the ideas that I need. Let's see the interaction and interpersonal, but I think that we have a keeper here. React appropriately to what others say using verbal and nonverbal back channeling or by asking further simple questions to extend the interaction. Oh, this one is also interesting because this one involves like an interaction. Sustain a conversational exchange of familiar everyday subject. Ask and answer questions to exchange some information on familiar topics in predictable everyday situations. Oh, this one's more for everyday situations, so no. Okay, I believe that we have a winner, and it's this one. Okay, it's this one. So I am gonna copy and paste the one from the evaluation criteria. Okay. And this is what happened in real life, guys. This is what happened in real situations. You don't work only with one evaluation criteria. You work with more than one. Remember that you are the teacher, you are the planner, you are the one in charge of this situation. So by thinking about that, you can iterate more. Now, what you do have to think, what you do need to have in mind, it's that the more evaluation criteria you add, the more complicated this is going to be. Okay, the more complicated this is going to be. Not only for you as a planner, as a curricularist, but also for you students, because they are the ones that will have to solve the things in the projects. So now I don't want to work with the other two, but I do want to work with this one. Provide a simple description because the students have to change the cars. So they have to do it like that. Okay. And finally, I need the other indicator, which is this one. Learners can answer simple questions quickly. And just like that, guys, just like that is how you do it. This is what you have to do as your next step of the project. If you review my checklist by having these things correctly, the level, uh, the curricular thread, the criteria of evaluation, the indicator, and the skills, you have more than 3 points, okay, in the project. So you have to do this properly. You have to do this correctly, okay? You have to do this correctly, okay? Now, once you finish watching this video, you have to do the same in a piece of paper with the same columns that I have in here, the same columns that I have in here, okay? Okay, guys, that will be all for this video, and let's work. Let's get hands off, okay?